What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast, and on this broadcast we're going to be discussing 3 takeaways that I have from Andrew Benintendi signing with the Chicago White Sox. So we begin with number 1. Now, the first takeaway is the contract itself. A 5-year, $75 million deal for Benintendi and the White Sox. The largest contract that they've handed out. For Benintendi, this is a solid move. It was more than I expected him to get this offseason, especially coming off of a little bit of an injury in the final months with the New York Yankees. When you look at what Benintendi can be on this type of contract for the White Sox, this is a very solid move. It still allows the White Sox to go out and make additional moves if they deem necessary. So while it's the largest contract they've ever handed out, it's not going to be an overwhelming amount to be able to hinder the White Sox going forward. Now, the second takeaway is overall improvement. Yes, the White Sox would lose Jose Abreu as he signed with the Houston Astros. But when you look at what this move now frees up the White Sox to do is bring Andrew Vaughn back over to first base, his natural position. You put Andrew Benintendi now in left field, and now you've upgraded on the defensive side of the ball in 2 different areas with this one move. I also believe that by bringing Andrew Vaughn back to his natural position of first base, you free up his mind to just focus on hitting. You know what the kind of hitter that Andrew Benintendi is going to be, and being able to have that plugged into the lineup each and every day is really going to allow the White Sox to kind of filter out and lengthen that lineup. By bringing in Andrew Benintendi, you also improve the defense. You have Benintendi now in left, Luis Robert in center. That's a ton of ground that gets covered by those 2 players, and it's 2 players that you don't really have to worry about when it comes to a fly ball into the gap either. I also think that for the White Sox, this is an improvement in terms of the mentality of the lineup. You're also now going to have a player that is going to be focused on getting hits as opposed to trying to hit home runs. I think that for the White Sox, they got a little bit too home run happy over the last few years and really haven't capitalized on what they're going to be capable of doing if they're healthy and playing the brand of baseball that they all are capable of playing. And the third takeaway is what is next for the Chicago White Sox. They would finish with a record that they did not want to have in 2022. They obviously were expected to be one of the best teams and leading the division before the 2022 campaign. Injuries really took their toll on this squad, and I do believe that better health in 2023 will help them get back towards the top of that division. But I also think that when we're hearing rumors like their closer Liam Hendriks could be on the trade block, there is some questions as to what the direction of this team is. When you hand out a $75 million deal, the largest contract in your franchise's history, you're going to have to start figuring out the game plan and the path that you're taking. Moving Liam Hendriks for another potential upstart reliever could be a good sign, as you're not having to deal with some of the back-end issues that may come with a bigger contract that Hendriks is dealing with. But I think when you look at what the White Sox can be, if they have Hendriks, who is a proven closer at the back end of games, this is someone you can rely upon a bit more than a young upstart. Now, that being said, I do think that the White Sox have some improvements still to make in terms of their defense and lengthening that lineup even more so. By having more contact hitters in the lineup as opposed to just a all or nothing home run approach, I think that you really balance out the White Sox lineup and allow them to get back to being much closer to the top of the division as they were expected to be. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings down in the comments. White Sox fans, how are you feeling about this Andrew Benintendi signing? What does it mean to you for your team going forward in 2023 and beyond? Let me know that down in the comments, or find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball, and we can keep the conversation rolling. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, as it does a huge service as we continue to try to grow this baseball family here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. If you want to show us more support, head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. Use any one of the number of promo codes that we have on the site where you can save on our merchandise, as well as checking out laracuenteledger.com for written articles that we have covering the game of baseball and much, much more. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Keep it locked in by hitting the subscribe button and the bell for post notifications each and every time we drop a new broadcast here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast.